Hello everybody, welcome back. We're going to look at Pundix because I believe there to be a long-term opportunity on this one for a few reasons. But first of all, I don't know if anyone's ever heard me talk about the token swap theory that I have. So basically, Pundix used to be something called MEXC or something. Not a very easy thing to remember. It's a bit of a rubbish ticker, to be honest with you. And what it looked like was this. It looked like this current chart at the moment. Now, I don't know if you ever noticed it, but I'll show you two examples. When a token swap takes place, it almost always does this. Kapow, all the way down, basically wrecks City and then finds some kind of low. And it's at that point that I have noticed that it starts to perform exactly like it did before the token swap, right? It's a bit of a random theory, but I have noticed it, right? And if anyone ever saw the chart of NPSX, or if that's what it was called, something along those lines, it basically looked like this. This is exactly what it looks like. The last bull market, it basically went sideways and stayed down, sideways and down for the most part, and it looked like a very uninspiring chart. And then basically, towards the end of the bull market, it went absolutely massively parabolic. Thousands of percent, basically, from the low. Now, you know, that was what Pundix used to be, and if the token swap theory that I have is correct, then these lows down here are very attractive lows, because if it does end up going back up to its former glory, we're talking thousands of percent, right? Thousands of percent, you know, from roughly around this low to the wick high, that's 2,800% back up to there. And if it goes higher, then excellent. Now, I'm not saying that it's definitely going to do that. This is a theory that I have based on what I've seen in the past. Here is an old chart called eGold. You're probably more than aware of eGold. And eGold did the same thing. This used to be a token called Elrond. I know it's still called Elrond, but they rebranded it to eGold, you know, made a token swap basically. And this is what happened when it came onto the market in the bull market. So look, just imagine that this is what it was. Okay, this is all the information that you had on eGold, right? You see the token swap happen, dumps down into significant lows. It went down 83% from the moment that it was released, and then it basically found a plateau, and then it went crazy. It went absolutely bonkers. This was like a really, really big performing coin. Do you know what it was before that when it was Elrond? It did exactly the same sort of thing. So the token swap theory applies to Elrond and eGold. It also happened to StormX. This used to be Storm Play, or just Storm basically. This had a token swap. Let's have a little look at what happened when that came onto the market. Again, you know, these moves are so big, you have to really, really zoom in close to see what happens. So the token swap took place, then dumped down a good 47%, and then from there found a low, you know, scraped the low out. This is all in a bull market, so it turned around quite quickly, and then obviously went up dramatically to the point where you can barely even see this. I mean, we'll just slice into it a little bit, and there's your 8,000%. Okay, so look. It is a theory, but I believe it to be the case. And I remember the NSPX or MPSX chart, and it looked just like this. And so if we're looking at this chart and we're going to digest some kind of price action, we'll look at it as a token swap theory that's scraping out a low. So we looked at this on the Patreon last night. We look at it from time to time. It's pump and dump for the most part. You know, the liquidity is obviously not that high. You get these huge, massive moves up, and then it just comes straight back down. Massive move back up, straight back down. In fact, it would, to a point, you know, it'd actually be quite a good little bot trade. There'll be days where there's really no bot profit made, and then all in one go it happens, and you come back down to square one. But the reason I'm bringing it to your attention now is because I think this is a really good hodl. This is part of the hodl bag, right? And I've been reiterating this as a hodl for probably about a year now, really. And now we're coming back down, or we did yesterday, come back down into the 30s, which is a prime opportunity to pick it up, because this is roughly the lows, you know, so we're talking about 30 cents to 40 cents, really. Woke up this morning to see it's already sort of rebounding out of that area. It's highly volatile, big massive moves up, retraces all the way back down. This is what it's going to be like until it finally breaks and closes and builds a base above $1, and it's only then when you'll start to see the massive parabolic move moves, because the sell walls around this area is enormous. Now, looking at it, looking at momentum, we had bearish divergence leading into this top. We had consolidation, which continued with the pullback of momentum. We did break out for a little bit, but we continued to go down. Now we found a significant low on the RSI, and we're starting to perk back up again. No bullish divergence on this, I have to say. So this isn't really a trade that should make you a millionaire immediately. This is an area that's very inviting for buys to position yourself, add this to your portfolio, because I'm surprised to see it down here so quick, but I'm glad that it has done, because I have bought it. I bought it down in the 30s previously because of this idea. We hit this low, we've hit this low again, we hit this low again. We came down into the 30s quite a few times, and both times, I can't remember if it was here or here, but basically it added to my position. And look, if you don't have it, it's completely up to you if you decide to add it to your portfolio. My theory is only a theory based on 2 other previous charts and how they've performed, and also the way that this chart looks compared to how it looked previously before the token swap. Now, I'm not expecting this to go parabolic tomorrow. I'm not expecting anything to go parabolic tomorrow. I'm looking at this as a major opportunity for anyone who doesn't have it and believes in what I have said. Now, I'm not saying that it's definitely going to work out. Obviously, this chart on its own, based on what we see right now, is just a chart which is a down. Well, I suppose it is a down-only chart, really, but I expect it to turn around in this bull market. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but probably over the next year, and fulfill its destiny, which is to go back up to where it started from, and maybe even then some. Exactly how it performed when it was its previous token, exactly how these performed after their token swaps. Yeah, remember, this was horrendous downtrend, massive. It was retraced by, what was it, 70%? Massive. And then it just rallied thousands of percent. StormX, again, it did have a pullback of 50%, but then it rallied massively, 8,000%. So I can't tell you how many percents this is going to rally, but I would expect it to perform in the same way that the previous token swaps did, and also how this chart behaved prior to the token swap. Now, let's have a look. Do we have any bullish divergence? Well, on the money flow index, we do have quite a pronounced weekly bullish divergence read. Normally a single drive of it is all we really need. There's also a short signal, so I'm expecting us to hang around in this area. So, if you're looking to add to your position, I don't expect this to just suddenly just shoot up today or tomorrow. I think we're probably going to live in these 30s area, which I think is a prime place to accumulate some of this. Again, don't break the bank. It's not an amazing looking chart. This isn't like a chart where you go, oh yes, definitely, it's just going straight up. Obviously, it's not. It's a bit of a gamble. It's a bit of a risky hodl, but I believe it has a very good chance of success based on, well, obviously being around in crypto for so long and highlighting this for about a year now. As every time we come into the 30s, I think it's an opportunity to buy. I didn't buy last night because I've already got enough of it. However, if we do come back down to the lower 30s, 30 cents, I will buy more. That'll be probably the last chance I get to buy at those levels, given my expectations of what I think this bull market's going to behave like once this summer consolidation and accumulation is over. But remember, this isn't a chart which is saying, oh yes, 100% guarantees. It's definitely not. But I thought I'd bring it back onto the channel because I believe the token swap theory, right? I've seen it, and I saw what this did in the last bull market before it became Pundix, and it was phenomenal. It is a hodl. It's not so much a trade. It is a hodl. You've got to recognize that for what it is. It is a hodl. If it works, it's going to work how it did previously, which is when everything starts going crazy, this will go absolutely bananas. But between 30 and $1, it's basically having a big, hard time. But there's no reason, as far as I can say, why over the next year, if and when the market gets a little bit more exciting and retailers finally get attracted to it, maybe someone special says something special and everybody starts to trust the market again, because at the moment there's no trust since FTX ruined the party, basically. The retailers are afraid, and I can't blame them. But once all that's over and the sentiment has changed and people decide to start putting money into crypto again, and this one breaks above $1 and closes and builds a base above $1, you will see this. You'll see this start to move up massively, quickly. $1, $2, $4, $8. you know, and who knows where it's going to go after then. There is quite a fair bit of utility to this, to be honest with you. And in a world which hopefully will start to adopt crypto, this does serve a good purpose. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. There's nothing much more to say on it than that. It's just an opportunity. Granted, we are now at 40. It's not as attractive as it was when we looked at it on the live stream last night. But it's still probably going to live within the 30s. And I think when we do get into these 30s, especially if we get to the lower 30s, you should have a little think about maybe putting a little bit into this, you know, just a little bit. Like I say, don't harvest a kidney, don't sell the children, just put a little bit in, because if it works, based on my theory, we're scraping out these lows down here, and a 10, maybe even 20 or more X on something like this over the next 12 to 18 months, I think is actually quite realistic. It's not guaranteed, I think it's quite realistic. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there, nothing much more to say. Hope you have a nice day. Feel free to join the Patreon for live streams twice a week. Links in the description below. Other than that, take it easy.